My name's Natalie Young. I'm a people partner at a business called GHD, Not the Hair Straighteners. It's a engineering consultancy, and they're an Australian company who are looking to expand into the UK. I live in Surrey. I have 2 dogs and I work in London, but work in a hybrid model at the moment. So 2 days in, 3 days at home. Prior to that, I grew up as an expat, so I moved around the Middle East quite a lot and then came back to the UK when I was 15 and then decided to move away again after university for a couple of years and then settled back into the UK, into professional work when I finally got back. The company's over 10,000 people globally, so it grew from Australia. We're growing North America and also South America, and then the EMEA region as well, which is where I'm based. So when I joined the business, which was in June 2021, we were probably about 250 people. We're now closer to about 600. So we've had some pretty ambitious growth. I took a couple of years out after university and went traveling. And when I got back, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't have a plan. I did a lot of temping work in Australia. And so I was effectively starting from scratch. And so I got a temporary role with Ascot Racecourse. And while I knew it wasn't what I wanted to do long term, it gave me the time to figure out what my next steps were. And actually, I worked with a great team who, passed on their experience and their knowledge. And it sort of set me up for my next step. And I guess the takeaway from that was that even though it's not what I wanted to do, I still pull on some of those skills that I learned way back when I was at Ascot Racecourse. And it helped me build a network too. I'm still in touch with the individuals who I worked with. And I often ask them for some advice every now and then as well. It was a great experience to build my network as well. Following Ascot Racecourse, I did a couple of years in a program coordinator role, which I knew wasn't what I wanted to do long term either. So probably had an early midlife crisis at 28. But in that sense, it took me back to the drawing board and made me think really hard about what was I passionate about? What did I enjoy from the experience I had gained from multiple different temp jobs? And that gave me a little bit of direction as to some of the opportunities and pathways that would be available to me. And, at 28, a lot of my peers and friends had already become well established in their roles. So it meant that I was taking risk by starting from scratch, moving into HR. But, I was determined to succeed. And I was able to excel my career quite quickly in a short period of time. And I was given, some great opportunities by putting myself in the unknown and putting my hand up there and, being heard. So that's probably a piece of advice as well that I'd give everyone, look out for those opportunities. It's never too late to start. I think what's important is that you're doing something that you're passionate about and that you really enjoy. Otherwise, work can feel really long. My one piece of advice would be to look out for those opportunities and don't be afraid of putting yourself in the unknown. One example that I often look back at is when I was at Kingfisher. I was in an executive assistant role to the chief people officer, and there was an L&D, a learning and development lead role that I had seen advertised and I was really interested. And I spoke to the hiring managers to get a little bit more information about the role. And I didn't think I had the right skills or knowledge, but it's something I really, really wanted to do. And so I decided to go for it anyway. I had nothing to lose. I knew that there were other candidates who were more experienced than me and had prior experience in learning and development. But I thought, let's give it a shot. And actually, although I didn't expect to get the role, I was successful. And the piece of feedback that the hiring manager gave me afterwards was, he recognizes that I don't have everything. I don't tick all the boxes. But actually what he hired me for was my attitude. What he saw was a willingness and a determination to want to learn and want to succeed. So that's probably another piece of advice as well. Put yourself out there, but also bear in mind that we all have to start somewhere. And the best thing about a new job is learning new skills and having those challenges and growing. Otherwise, it would be boring if you knew it all. So, just go for it, I say, if you find something that you're really, really interested in and that excites you.